I saw a video today, which is called something like human competence crisis, something like that. And the basic take is that humans of the modern world, humans don't have competence that they had before, and they don't have the community that they had before. And the idea behind this video is that because we're missing all these competences and uh, and a sense of community. That's why we are anxious. That's why many people today are anxious, and all these anti-anxiety strategies that they employ, such as anti-anxiety medication or meditation, whatever. That's that doesn't work because it's treating the symptoms and not the causes. The causes are the lack of community and the lack of competence. Now, I am not against building competence, and obviously, I'm not against building community. I think those two things are pretty important, and I think that they probably do have something to do with some amount of anxiety. But I disagree with the general framing that if only you were skilled and had better relations with your neighbors or lived in a multi-family household or something, that would solve all your anxiety problems. That's pretty silly to say, and it's not correct. This specific example that the guy gives in the video, it's about food, and that's something that gave me pause because I know a little bit about food, and I know that that's wrong. He claimed that like when you depend on the supermarket for food, you subconsciously, deep down inside, you feel that you're dependent on that source, on the supermarket, on the system, whatever the system is, and that's what gives you anxiety. Your brain is actually correctly saying to you, "Hey, you're in danger," and that's why you're anxious. So obviously, the solution is don't be in danger. Learn how to grow your own food and live in a community of people who can help you. Okay, that's absurd. If you look at how people in the pre-modern world lived and how subsistence farming actually feels like, and what you need to do, and like how uh, insecure it is in terms of survival, you know that this is a completely absurd and silly idea. Subsistence farming is by far one of the most difficult lifestyles that one can use. And I'm talking about, just producing all of your own food. That's really, really difficult. Even if you live in a community, it's still pretty difficult. Even if you live in a village where everybody is producing their own food, it's pretty, pretty difficult. It's just, there's a reason why we observe that people from rural communities abandon their rural communities and literally go live in squalor and poverty in a city rather than continue with subsistence farming, like work in a factory and live in a small apartment rather than subsistence farming. Subsistence farming is really, really difficult and insecure, and it's just overall it's difficult. I won't say it's terrible. Somebody may prefer it. Somebody may have found a way to do it. I'm talking about the general idea here, and that's that we observe that people actually don't want to do that. They prefer to go earn some money and live in literal poverty rather than do subsistence farming. Anyway, to go back to the video, the guy who is speaking in the video claims, well, yeah, your brain is telling you you're vulnerable, you're in a precarious position because you depend on the system and you depend on the supermarket to get your own food. So, like, that's silly because you are depending on the system even if you produce your own food. Just that this system is called nature. And if you get your food from a supermarket, you also depend on the system of nature, but also there's a buffer called the might of the industrial civilization. And this buffer allows you to have, a bit more food security than you otherwise would have. Even if you're a very skilled farmer, even if you live in a community of skilled farmers, you will still live in an inherently less food secure way of life than if you use the modern civilization has built, the industrial food production. And all this I'm saying is somebody who grows their own food. I don't grow all my food. This season I'm not growing anything because the life, but year after year I've grown my own food. I've grown my own vegetables. I'm not against growing your own food. It's good. It's fulfilling, and probably you could actually get better quality, and maybe if you manage to somehow manage it, you could maybe save some money. I'm not against growing your own food, but I'm against saying that you're anxious because you don't know how to grow your own food, and if you just had more competence, you would be less anxious. That's silly. Anxiety is different. Like, anxiety is ruminating thoughts. When you have some uncertainty in your life, somebody didn't return your call or something, and then you start thinking of different explanations. Well, maybe something happened to them. Maybe they got hit by a car. Maybe they got attacked on the street. Something that they usually always ring. Why didn't they ring me? And so on and so on. That's anxiety. You're just ruminating on things where you don't have some specific knowledge about something that has happened. You would have the same thing if you lived in a pre-modern rural farming community. Even if you were skilled and you lived around other skilled farmers, you would still have the same sort of anxiety in all likelihood. Maybe the modern world somehow exacerbates some symptoms, and your anxiety could be better off if you literally lived in a community of farmers in some specific cases, but saying just get skilled, bro, that doesn't solve the problem of anxiety. The problem of anxiety is personal. It's personal to you. You should find your own solution. If it's living in a farm, sure, then I'm all for that. But just saying anxiety is normal, a normal response to the modern way of life, is something that somebody who hasn't experienced the pre-modern way of life, that's something that they would say. It's like you really need to go live in a pre-modern type village and just lose access to all the amenities that you have, and just experience how difficult that is and how precarious that all is. And guess what? Nobody does it. Nobody does it for a reason. It's difficult. Nobody does it for a reason. So yeah, that's my take. Anxiety is not something that you resolve by joining a farm and by growing your own food. There's more to it.